Hello. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to give it just a moment to see if give other folks a chance to join. Okay. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome. My name is Vanessa Ortiz. I'm going to be the facilitator for this panel. Welcome to Mount Diablo Unified School District's virtual college fair. Just a few housekeeping pieces of information. Your camera and microphone are off, so you're muted and your video's off. The panelists can't actually see you or hear you. You may be wondering, well, how do I ask questions? And you're going to use the Q&A feature that's located in the center of your screen. You'll see a nice little Q&A button. Feel free to ask the presenters anything you'd like. They're happy to answer your questions. That's what they're here for. And this is the last session of the evening, but all the sessions have been recorded, and so you'll be able to visit StriveScan's website at strivescan.com/MDUSD to check out the recording from this session and other sessions from today. So without further ado, we're gonna start off with our first college, which is California Baptist University.
Haley, can you come off mute?
Thanks, Julian.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry about that. But my name is Haley. I am from California Baptist University. We are in the heart of Southern California in Riverside. And so I'm just excited to let you guys know a little bit more about CBU, who we are, what we're about, what makes us unique, and the value of a CBU education. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to go over today, we do have three main distinctives at CBU. Not only are we a private four-year university, but we also really want to encourage students to take the next step in their faith through the following ways. So at CBU, we have gained a lot of institutional momentum. We want to make sure that our programs and the resources for our students are just as they are student-centric, so that we can best serve you and create a wonderful experience. And then our third distinctive is our wide academic breadth. So I'm going to go over that really briefly here with you guys and just give you an overview of CBU. But currently, CBU has over 6,000 traditional undergraduate students. So we are growing tremendously. But despite that growth, we've still been able to maintain non-impacted majors. So students are able to graduate successfully within that four-year timeline, and we are a WASC accredited institution. So the same accreditation you will see at other UCs or CSUs, the degree you receive from CBU will hold merit and value. But to give you a little bit more of a deeper dive into the institutional momentum that I mentioned, we're continuously growing physically to support that growth that I mentioned earlier of our students coming to CBU. And some of the ways that we have done that are by creating new spaces for our students. So our new event center, our upgraded engineering building, our newly refurbished parking structure, including additional housing as our students are coming to campus, our brand new front entrance, as well as our jump to Division I athletics. So we are growing tremendously, but we are also wanting to make sure that not only that we're growing physically, but that we're supporting our students as well. And so we do that through a variety of different programs throughout our university. We want to make sure that students are not only prepared academically, but socially, spiritually, and professionally as well. And so some of the resources that we provide students are our Career Center, giving them the opportunity to thrive in their professional well-being, as well as our Office of Student Success, where we have tutoring at no additional cost. Our Community Life Office, which creates opportunities for students to get connected on and off campus. Our Residence Life Office for the students living on campus. It is your home away from home. as well as our spiritual life office. So this is a photo of our chapel services. And so we just encourage students to take the next step in their faith, wherever that may be. And each of these offices does a great job at preparing students for their lives during college and beyond college as well. And then our third distinctive is our academic breadth. So what that means is that CBU has a very wide range of different majors, and it does range from, if students are unsure what they want to study, that's totally fine. We definitely have something for you. Or if you already know what you're wanting to study, that is wonderful as well. So at CBU, currently our largest majors are kinesiology, engineering, business, nursing, and psychology. But we also offer a lot of different niche type majors that you wouldn't see, just broadly. So some of those are aviation flight, architecture, as well as interior design. And CBU is constantly wanting to add the growing workforce and make sure that we provide degrees available to students who are wanting to study that. And we take note from the community and what students want to study. So for example, one of our most recent additions is our Bachelor's of Social Work, our Bachelor's in Sports Management, which is new this year. So we're continuing to grow. And at CBU, all of our professors are wonderful at making sure that students feel that they're being personally invested in, not only academically, but socially and spiritually as well. So the time that you're spending in the classroom is very much an opportunity for you to not only get to know your professors, having them teach you academically so that you can get your degree, but they really want to invest in you and make sure that your overall well-being is fulfilled. And so just some quick facts for you. Although we are a growing institution, we do have a 19:1 student to faculty ratio, which means that our class sizes are very small so that you get that one-on-one interaction with your professors. Speaking of our wonderful professors, 82% of them have the top degrees in their field. So our students are being taught by the best of the best, and those professors are sharing their not only their knowledge, but their experience as well, and hoping to inspire you moving forward in your field. CBU is an unapologetically Christian university, so 100% of our staff and faculty are Christians. However, we don't require our students to share that same Christian faith. Like I mentioned earlier, just taking that next step wherever that may be. And two of the ways we encourage that are by requiring students to take at least 9 units of Christian studies while they're at CBU and attending 15 chapels. So this is just a brief overview of CBU, but thank you guys so much for listening to a little bit more about who we are, and I hope to connect with you soon.
Excellent, thank you so much. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next university. I'd like to welcome Mount St. Mary's.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Nicole Villanueva, and I am one of the first-year admission counselors here at Mount St. Mary's University. I actually was up in your area 2 weeks ago, so I was able to get to know the Mount Diablo community, and it was really great. So just to share a little bit, similar to California Baptist, we are also in Los Angeles, so here in Southern California. We are primarily an all-women's institution. However, we do admit males to our nursing program. If you want to know the breakdown, it would probably be about 94% females, 6% males. And we are Catholic due to our founders, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, who just had a really great passion for social justice and really creating change in the world. And so you'll see a Catholic identity displayed that way on our campus, and just really allowing our students opportunities to engage with their communities and give back. You don't have to be Catholic to apply to the university. There are no religious requirements. However, we do have campus ministry available if you would like to explore your spiritual life and develop that side. We are a liberal arts institution, so you're going to get your toes dipped in a lot of different subjects to really be a well-rounded student when you do graduate. And we are a small institution, so we pride ourselves on having small class sizes. We have about 1,400 undergraduates, so if you want to get a picture of how many students are in per class, we just welcomed about 380 new Athenians to our campus this fall. So again, about an average class size of 15 students. This is a place where your name, your goals, your aspirations will definitely be known not only to professors, but faculty and your peers as well. We do have a second campus location, which is about 4 miles away from downtown Los Angeles. It is called our Doheny campus. This is the home to our graduate and evening weekend online students. And I'm just realizing I didn't even introduce our campus on the slide before, which is the Chelan campus. And that is where the home for our traditional undergraduate students. So someone like yourself who's coming to college for the first time would call Chelan your home base. And it is in the Santa Monica Mountains. So we're up on a hill and we have great views from any location that you're on. So it kind of feels like you're in your own little oasis, but you're just minutes away from all the hustle and bustle and events that are going on in LA. Fun fact, this little building on our Doheny campus is actually, if you've ever watched Princess Diaries, it's where the Genovian consulate is, all the parts of the Genovian consulate. So it's our claim to fame. I love mentioning that. It's my favorite tip or trick from Mount St. Mary's. These are just some of our majors that we do offer. We have a couple more available on our website, as well as a bigger list of minors. Some of our most popular majors are definitely nursing, biological sciences, business administration, psychology, and sociology. And a fun major that I love to mention is our film and media studies. We do have our own studio in Hollywood where our film and media students do all their classes and get to use industry equipment and work with people from the industry and really just get to learn hands-on their experience as they're, exploring what film and media means to them. So we were the first university in the state of California to offer the BSN. So we are pretty well known in Los Angeles for our nursing program. So if you're definitely interested in that career, I would encourage you to take a peek at us and the great things that our nursing students have done in the past. I won't go too much into details, but we do have a direct entry program for nursing. And then we admit to 2 different tracks, so a fast track 4-year and a standard 5-year. They both have a core nursing curriculum of 3 years. However, the difference is the amount of time you get to complete your prerequisites. Great university resources that we offer. Being a smaller institution, you have access to a lot of these opportunities and a full array of just people who are there and willing to help and just invested in women's education and leadership. And then leadership is definitely something that you will develop at the Mount. You will sharpen those skills, you will gain a voice so that when you graduate from the Mount, you're really standing out in the crowd of people that you work with. And so a lot of the activities and engagement that are offered at the Mount are rooted in that leadership aspect. So we have over 30 clubs and organizations. You are welcome to create your own on our campus if you don't see something you like. We have a national renowned women's leadership program where you would get a leadership scholarship. You would be a mentor to someone would be a mentor to you, and you'd get access to workshops and conferences. And then we have just really fun campus traditions, just like all other universities, that just help to foster community again and keeping each other engaged on our campus. Wellness is a really big initiative at the Mount as well. We want you to be the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. And so in all aspects, mental, emotional, physical health, we want to help you promote that. So you'll find lots of different resources again and opportunities for you to continue to take care of yourself and take that time to take a step back in the midst of all your studies. And then you are able to live on campus. We have 5 different residence halls and living learning communities for you to stay engaged and be at access to all of the different resources on our campus. So thank you for being here today. And if you're interested in learning more about the Mount, I'd be happy to share. I'll drop my information in the chat. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Soca University of America.
All right, I think I'm here. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Ashley. I'm one of the admission counselors at Soca University of America. I've been working there for about 5 years now. It is located in Aliso Viejo in Southern California, so about 20 minutes from Laguna Beach, an hour south of Los Angeles, and an hour north of San Diego. We are a very new university. We just celebrated our 20th year anniversary, I should say, this year. Everything we do is very much founded in our mission, which is to foster a steady stream of global citizens committed to living a contributive life. And I'll share some examples of how we have our students really bring that mission into fruition. We are a very small campus, 450 students. Very small, smaller than my birthday party. I'm just kidding. I didn't have a birthday party, or even last year, but 40% of those students are international students. They come from at least 50 different countries from all over the world. All of our students do live on campus all 4 years, and all of our students earn a bachelor's in liberal arts. And I'll go over that a little bit more in detail on the next slide. All of our students also receive some type of merit or need-based aid, sometimes both, depending on what you're eligible for. Okay. Like I shared, all students receive a bachelor's in liberal arts. It's really different compared to your traditional college when you're looking for higher ed institutions, right? So at Soka, it is the one major, liberal arts, and you take some of your general education courses, and then you pick one of the 5 concentrations. There you'll see environmental studies, which is more of your ecology, environmental management, policy and urban planning, earth and ocean sciences, and geography. Humanities is your art history, literature history, and philosophy and music history courses. International studies is more for your global and thematic issues, focusing on the Eastern Western philosophies, international economics, trade development, international relations, and for those who want to go into international law, business, or education as well. Life sciences is our most newest concentration. It houses our biochemistry, biology, pre-health, and public health focuses, and especially for those who want to go into med school. And last but not least, we have our social behavior sciences, which is your most popular concentration on campus because it houses your anthropology, sociology, psychology, political science, and economics courses. So to kind of sum it up a little bit more, you have your one major, you pick a concentration, and you can also do a double concentration if you like, and you also need to pursue a language and culture program requirement. How that works is that you do take one of the foreign languages that we offer at Soka starting from your first year. So you could choose either from Chinese, French, Japanese, or Spanish. And with that, you'll take those courses for your first 2 years at Soka, because it will then determine where you go and study abroad for a semester in your 3rd year. So either study abroad for fall or spring semester. You'll study in a country that's in the given, I would say, chosen language that you chose to study. So for example, if you wanna study Chinese, you'll go ahead and study abroad in either China or Taiwan. If you wanna study French, you'll study abroad in either French or Senegal. For Japanese, of course, you go to Japan, but you have 3 different cities that you can choose from in Japan. And last but not least, Spanish, you'll have choices from Spain, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico. We used to have Ecuador, Mexico, and I believe there's one more. I think we have Cuba as well added onto there. So while you're abroad, you still take language courses full time, and we'll help you pick all those courses. We'll help you pick the program that's based on your level, proficiency level of your foreign language, and we will help you plan everything before you even step foot in the plane. All of those expenses are covered within your tuition. So your tuition covers your flight, your room and board, any visa expenses or any vaccinations you might need because you are going to a different country. And this duration would last about 3 to 6 months, depending on the study abroad program that you choose. So all students major in liberal arts. They pick a concentration and participate in this mandatory study abroad requirement, and all students do live on campus. It's a double occupancy, no more than 2 to a room. Each room is built with a full toilet, sink, and shower, or bath shower. Some of the amenities I like to point out is our Soka shuttle. It's kind of like your Uber or Lyft, if you will. You don't have to pay any additional fees for that. It'll take you around the area within a 5-mile radius, nearby outdoor malls, dining, entertainment, beach, or even to the train station if you don't want to drive in the traffic to LA, or even have some internships elsewhere as well. These are some involvements that students have participated in terms of campus life. You can see some examples there at the bottom, but I'll go over the photos a little bit more. On the very far left, you have those students sitting on the bench. They were my campus tour guides. They graduated this past May, and that being a campus tour guide is one of our on-campus jobs that you can have. Adrian on the far left, he studied abroad in Costa Rica, and Sarah, who's sitting next to him, she studied abroad in Spain. In the very middle picture, we have a glimpse of our Soul Cafe, which is one of our cafes on campus. That's where you can get your boba, tea, coffee, or snacks. And it is connected with our student union called the Lion's Den. And then on the very far right, with the students with the microphones, those are your student orientation leaders. They help all of our students transition onto campus during the month of August. And so it's all first year students during the month of August, and you'll go ahead and transition into your full year. I'm running out of time a little bit, but we do have some of our collegiate sports here, and we are part of the NAIA division, and you could have athletic scholarships as well. This is a glimpse of our admissions and financial aid information. However, if you'd like for me to go over this a little bit more in detail, you can go ahead and scan this QR code and you can put your information there, and I am your assigned admission counselor, so we can continue to stay connected and hopefully get more of a one-on-one Zoom chat scheduled so that we can discuss more of what it's like to be a student at Soka. But thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Menlo College.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am here talking to you about Menlo College. We are a four-year business and psychology school located in the Bay Area. So we are technically located in Atherton, California, which is a small town midway between San Francisco and San Jose. I like this little graphic here because it shows all of the really cool places that our students have either interned at or have gotten careers after their graduation. And I'll be talking in more detail about our internship and career services program later on. And it's also nice because it shows some of the nice attractions and stuff that you can do around the area. So whether you like going to the beach or the city, camping, art, museums, sporting events, we have a little bit of everything here in the Bay Area. We are a small school. We have about 850 students in total, which breaks down to a student to faculty ratio of 17:1, and it's about a 19 average class size. How it breaks down is that in your first couple of years, as you're taking your general ed courses and your intro to business classes, which I'll get into more detail a little bit later, the classes are a little bit larger than 19. And then as you start to concentrate in your field of study, the classes get smaller and smaller. But just because you have a small student campus doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of things for you to get involved in. We have over 40 student clubs and organizations here on campus. So there are tons of opportunities for students to get involved with and find people with similar interests as yourself. And also, meet people from different walks of life as well. We are a business school that also offers a degree in psychology. So as you can see in our academic programs, that's sort of how the breakdown goes. All of our degrees are concentrated in business with the exception of psychology, like I mentioned before, which is pretty cool for students who either know for sure they want to specialize in business and want to really delve in deep and learn more about, the different aspects of business. This provides them with an opportunity to potentially even double major if that's something that you want to do and learn more about, but also for the students who are maybe undeclared or unsure of what they want to do, but are kind of interested in the business world. All of our business majors have the same core classes, so it allows for a lot of flexibility throughout your first 2 years to explore the different fields before actually declaring your major. We are also in the NAIA division when it comes to our athletics. So here's a list of our men's and women's varsity sports as well as our club sports. So if you are watching this, if you're seeing this and are interested in, playing a sport collegiately here at the school, please reach out to me so that I can get you in contact with the appropriate coaches. The reason I say that is each coach kind of has their own way of wanting to recruit students and get in contact with them, and they are also the people who will be able to discuss in more detail about our athletic scholarships, which are a little bit different than our academic scholarships. So if one of these sounds interesting to you, please don't hesitate to reach out so I can put you in contact with the right person. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have a great internship program. All of our business students are required to complete an internship before they graduate. So that's a huge emphasis on us. We want to make sure that our students are well prepared and have real world experience before they go out into the real world after they graduate. So part of how we do that is by setting them up with our Internship and Career Services Center. They meet with them as freshmen. And of course, you're more than welcome to follow up with them with meetings, and appointments along the way. But definitely, as you approach your senior year, you'll meet with them again based off of, what you intend to do as a career, based off of your interests and majors. We work with you to help set you up with an internship here in the Bay Area. I know we also have done stuff in SoCal, if that's where you're from, or that's where you're interested in exploring. So yeah, definitely a huge thing that we emphasize is wanting to give our students that real world experience before they graduate. About financial aid, I know that is a huge thing that students and families are looking at when it comes to picking a school. As the slide says, over 90% of our students receive some form of financial aid. We offer athletic scholarships. We offer academic scholarships. We also, take FAFSA, CSF's profile, whichever, financial aid application you choose to submit. And what we do is that once we get these profiles, we, meet with you. I'll help set you up with the financial aid department, and we can review your aid in person if you are close or want to come by for a school visit, or I can also make a time to talk with you on the phone or through Zoom and help answer any questions that you have about the financial aid process, since I know it can be a tricky thing to navigate at times. The last thing that I have to mention to all of you guys are our admissions requirements and deadlines. To be considered for admission here at the school, we will, of course, need the application along with a personal essay and letter of recommendation. So I, try to take a lot of initiative to communicate with our students, remind them about upcoming deadlines, if there's any missing documents. So you really get to know me over the course of your time here through the application process. And I will be collecting, unofficial transcripts. And if you come reach out to me, I also have my own little fee waiver code that I can give you as well. And then at the very bottom, you can see our admissions deadlines. We have a non-binding early action deadline in November, regular decision deadline in February, and then you have until May to make your decision. That's all I have. Let me stop sharing.
Well, thank you, Menlo College. Next up, we have the NCSA College Athletic Recruiting.
Alexa, this is great timing and a great transition, as I formerly lived right across the street from Menlo College. Students, parents, coaches, counselors. My name is Julian Jenkins, and if you want to play college sports, I will say that it can be done. There's so many colleges out there that want and need student athletes, and I preface student before athlete, because academics is one of the biggest things that can help get you in, but sports, as Alexa just said, is a big bridge builder that can carry you into the admissions process and get opportunity beyond high school and scholarships as well. I'm going to do a brief NCAA college sports overview. And I'm also going to talk about Next College Student Athlete, the organization that I manage here in the state of California, helping students get scholarships to play college sports and live out their dreams. My background, I played college football at Stanford University. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and was able to use football as a tool and a vehicle to not only help me get in and get funding, but make a big impact on my college career. So you're going to see a couple of things here today as I share my screen. You'll see this QR code where if you have an interest in playing college sports, you can scan this QR code, and what will it do? It will help you to not only get the resources shared here today, but you'll be able to create an online recruiting profile that you can send to any college coach in the country. And the recruiting process has changed in a lot of ways, with regards to technology, but in some ways it really hasn't. College coaches are still the ones who get to decide who gets to play for them. You guys have something, though, that I never had, access to so much technology, where literally in a matter of days, weeks, and months, you get to find out from a school, from an academic and an athletic standpoint, do I have a chance of getting in? And what's the likelihood of me getting a chance to play and get any type of funding? So you scan this QR code, it'll send you to a landing page, you fill out the questionnaire, and then what will happen? You'll be able to get a link to start building an online presence for college coaches. So coaches need stats, they need video, they need your transcripts, they need academic athletic accolades in order to determine whether you'd be a good fit. There's three things, if you are taking notes and you want to play college sports, I want you to write down. The first thing is that you need to get identified, right? Coaches need to know who you are. You have to get yourself on the map for these schools. Number two, you need to get evaluated, right? Start figuring out, okay, there's over 1,800 colleges out there that exist. Which schools am I going to be a good fit for based on my academic, athletic accolades and prowess, and my preferences for college academically and athletically? And the third piece is get actively involved in the process. So we're going to talk through a couple of those things. What has changed because of COVID from an academic standpoint? The first thing I said, there's a lot of things that haven't changed. You still need to register with the NCAA Eligibility Center, okay? The website is right there, eligibilitycenter.org. What does that do? That allows every college coach in the country to get access to your academic information. So because these coaches have a lot of influence in who they can help get into the school or help trying to influence to get into the school and who they can't. Right. So the coach will physically try to walk your transcripts down to the admissions office and say, I got a guy from Northern California, Concord area. I got a girl from this area. I want him or her to come and compete for us in Southern California or in Napa or in Oregon, Washington, Arizona, wherever it may be. And so you want to take this process serious. Register for eligibilitycenter.org, and your academic information can get on the radar for these coaches at the very least. The next thing for the class of 2022, the SAT, ACT has become test optional from the NCAA standpoint, not per colleges. The colleges, for a lot of colleges, it has been test optional for 2022. I still advise for you to take the SAT or ACT if you do get a chance to do so. Why? They're trying to decide between two student athletes, okay, of the same ability. Who are they going to pick? Potentially the one that may have taken standardized testing and taken standardized testing seriously. If you are interested in playing college sports and you play a certain sport, what you can do is scan this QR code to get your recruiting guidelines in your particular sport, right? There's certain height, weight, speed, athleticism requirements, experience level requirements that each individual sport is looking for, right? Division I, Division II, D3, NAIA. Find out where you may be a good fit. You can waste a lot of time trying to knock on doors of schools that you're not qualified for athletically, even though you may be qualified for them academically. The last thing I'll say here is that shoot for the stars, right? With a 3.65 GPA and a 1250 on my SAT, not having played football, Stanford would have slapped the application out of my hand and thrown it in the trash. And so using sports as leverage to help get into top schools is not only something I advise, but it can help you build a lot of confidence if you really want to play at the next level. The last couple of things, once you are working to get on a coach's radar, you're going to have to provide information that they can use to evaluate you. Video needs to be edited. You need to look good. Your stats, right? Get them from your high school coach or club coach. And social media, you have to have a presence online in order to allow these coaches to track, follow, and monitor your progress. And the last thing, guys, I have my contact information here at the bottom. You can scan that QR code to create an online presence for college coaches. And then I will send you all of the exact information that you need to know and need to do in the recruiting process. And the best of luck to all you students that are trying to navigate this, and parents as well. Good luck.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next up, our final college is going to be Azusa Pacific University.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to share my screen really quickly with you all, and we will get started. So we're going to be chatting about Azusa Pacific University, or APU. My name's Taylor Middleton. I am one of the admissions representatives at APU, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys. So fun fact about me, I love history. I'm getting my master's to become a high school history teacher. So I love this slide that just illustrates the history and the legacy that APU has in the Southern California area. So we were founded in 1899 as a training school for Christian workers, and eventually moved our way to Azusa, California, which is about 40 minutes from downtown Los Angeles. APU's motto is God First. It's been that way since we first began as a training school for Christian workers in 1899. And from that motto, we have our 4 cornerstones. So our 4 cornerstones are Christ, scholarship, community, and service. A couple of quick things about each of those. In regards to our Christ cornerstone, at APU, we have religion and philosophy classes that students are going to be taking. And so what I think is really cool about those, I was a religion major in college, is it's a really interesting thing to be able to understand the context behind what you are reading in the Bible. If you've ever been to church and you hear Bible verses thrown around, it's helpful to know what the historical context of that is, or the literary context, rather than just how to apply it to your life. And the way you can apply the Christ Cornerstone to your life is through our chapel services that we have. It's not like a mass or a church service. It's a local community member, someone from the school, maybe a student or pastor that's talking about how God has impacted their life. For example, we have a student who grew up in the foster care system since she was 2, and she graduated from AP with her master's and her bachelor's, and she comes back every year to talk about when she was 14 and she met her forever family and how their encounters with God impacted her. I'm going to talk about scholarship and community in just a second, but I do want to hit on service really quickly. APU does have a service requirement for students. That's 15 credits that they need to complete per semester. But what's unique about APU is they don't just say, hey, go get service credits, figure it out. But instead, you have opportunities to serve within the school and the community, as well as what's called service learning classes. So if a student is interested in our nursing program, which is #1 in the state of California, they would get service credits for their clinicals that they're completing. If someone's interested in engineering, they can pair with our faculty members that are working on some weather thing at the top of the Foothill Mountains with JPL, and that's another way they can get service credits. Where is APU? We are the star. So if you guys are familiar with the Pasadena area where the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade happens, we're about 15 minutes east of that. Like I said, 40 minutes east of Los Angeles. A little bit about APU's numbers. We have about 9,000 total students, around 4,500 graduate students and 3,500 undergraduate students. Our average class size is 19 students, with 95% of our classes being under 40 students, which is quite cool. Our student to faculty ratio is 12:1, and none of our classes are taught by TAs or graduate assistants. No shade to them. My twin sister's a grad student at UCI, and she is a TA for one of the classes. But at APU, we really do value students having that face-to-face contact with their faculty. And so for that reason, we try to keep that ratio pretty low. Lastly, we're an NCAA Division II school. We have 17 different sports. If you like going to a college where the school wins a lot, think about coming to APU. Our men's soccer team has won the NCAA Division II championships multiple times in the last few recent years. Our women's basketball team just did this past year. We have an acrobatics and tumbling team that competes in Division I alongside the top 2 schools, Baylor and Oregon. So if you like sports, definitely think about coming to check some out at APU. Here's some of our different majors that we have. I will say, if anybody watching this is looking into an arts program, please reach out to me. APU has arts scholarships for music, for art, cinematic arts, design studies, theater, screenwriting, tons of different majors. And you don't hear very often that schools have scholarships for the arts. So check with me about that. Next, I want to talk about the fact that APU is an R2 doctoral university. What that means, there's only 5% of schools in the nation that fall into R1 or R2 classification that's designated by the Carnegie Foundation. APU is one of 11 schools that exists between R1 and R2 in the state of California. R1 means that they have an extremely high level of doctoral research, and R2 means that they have a very high level. So APU falls into that R2 category, meaning that for a university of our size, we're able to complete and conduct a high amount of doctoral research that our undergraduate students are able to participate in. Just for context, the only other Christian school in the nation that is either R1 or R2 is Baylor University, and they are also an R2 institution. So just something to think about. APU has been ranked #1 in their first year experience by US News, and that I believe is because APU does a really great job of putting you with a pod of 10 students and an upperclassman at the very beginning of the year and keeping you linked up throughout all 4 years at APU. According to Forbes and according to our alumni, we're top 25 universities, and College Factual says that we are #8 in the US and #1 in the state of California for nursing. Want to talk quickly about our application. We are not on the Common App, so if you go to apu.edu/apply, you can apply there. There's no application fee. All you need is your 2.5 weighted GPA and a personal statement to be considered for the university.
All right. We're actually about to be at time, so if you have a final thought to wrap up.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
I was under the impression that I had 6 minutes. That's okay.
Oh yeah, that was 6 minutes.
Okay, my clock only said 4. That's okay.
All righty. So I'd like to invite all the panelists back on camera, and I'll give everyone an opportunity to just answer one final question, and you can respond in order of presentation. So the question is, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school? We'll begin with you, Haley.
Okay. Well, at CBU, we are an unapologetically Christian university, so we do care about the students, not only their academics and getting them prepared for their future career, but making sure that their spiritual walk is encouraged. And so we have many ways that we can do that. So whether you've never heard, the Christian worldview, or you've grown up with it your whole life, we definitely want to walk alongside you and help you continue on in that journey while still providing you with a solid education.
At the Mount, this is a community that is really invested in women's education and leadership, and a place where you will feel empowered and inspired by every student, faculty, and staff you interact with.
For Soca University, I would say one thing to remember about our campus is that we have a very small but global community, meeting a lot of people from around the world. And we really encourage our students to use your Soca education to learn more about yourself, who you want to be in the world, and how you want to give back to it.
I would say at Menlo, just how personalized we make everything from the moment you inquire about the school and the relationship that I form with my students, all the way through, after you commit and get to meet the faculty and become a part of our events and everything. We really try to make it personalized from start to the graduation date at the end.
And I would say, for any students that, have an interest in playing college sports, I recommend it. We have at Next College Student Athlete a term, really a mantra called athleadership, like using the life lessons learned through sport and the sport itself to leverage opportunity. There's so much time spent on the gridiron or the court or, in practice. The student athlete should be getting something out of that opportunity as well and be able to leverage.
And for APU, I would say that based off of our 4 cornerstones of Christ, scholarship, community, and service, we strive to be a place that makes difference makers in the world. So if you want to be a part of our legacy of difference makers, check us out.
Excellent. And then as we close, I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I want to thank all of our panelists, presenters this evening, as well as all of our participants who are here. As you close out from this session, there will be a quick 5-question survey. So please fill that out, and recordings will be available at strivescan.com/mdusd. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.